Okay, the lamp is on.
Hi, everybody. I'm just about to pour me out some iced coffee. How do you say iced coffee? Coffee no ice. Maybe. Ice coffee. Ice cold. Iced coffee. I've had this for a minute. Usually I drink it like immediately, but I discovered this like half gallon water bottle thing that I bought a long time ago. Like a year and a half ago, because I used to have a pitcher and I would just fill it up and drink it. But I rediscovered this. My mom just got the Hydromate, whatever. It's like she bought it, and literally that day and every day since I've been seeing ads like it for crazy. I've been seeing ads for it like crazy. Excuse me. Um, but I was like, oh, I already have that, and then I bought the filter, and it filters over half a gallon. So I've just been drinking this lately. And I guess that's why I've been drinking less carbonated beverages and why I haven't had my iced coffee yet. But today I woke up feeling like drinking some iced coffee. So, ooh, 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 ooh. And we're not going to make a mess. Yes. Not going to make a mess. Yes. Not going to make a mess. Yes. So today I'm going to use the Energy Oracle cards and the Witch's Tarot. I want to use the Witch's Tarot because I haven't used them in a while. Also, because I feel like looking at the backgrounds of the cards more, or looking at what's going on, I guess. So I'm trying vanilla. I think I like mocha better. Vanilla is sweeter, but mocha can be really strong sometimes. So, y'all see that? Oh, y'all don't see that. Well, there's a mini fridge right there. That's what everything is sitting on top of. Where's my finger? Okay, anyway. So let's get into this. I'm not expecting anything like significantly different than what's been sort of happening. But I guess that's the thing about taking the pulse, right? It's like we see it multiple days. And so if anything begins to change, I guess it kind of sort of comes up. Just like the that Virgo full moon and like Pisces season. And I was like, what is this? This is not what I was expecting. But let's see. Let's see. We got the EOCs and the WTs. We got the EOCs and the WTs. I don't remember Indecision being at the top of the deck. Disturbia just popped into my mind, but the line where Rihanna says a disease of the mind, I think, and it's indecision. Let me turn this up. I bought a new pair of pajamas yesterday. I bought a nice pair of underwear yesterday. I got a new pillow recently. And so I was excited to get to sleep last night. I was like, I'm gonna sleep like a prince tonight. And they were kind of expensive. They were a lot more expensive than what I usually get for sure. For sure. I'm like, that much for pajamas, I can sleep in some in a t-shirt and some shorts or nothing. Um, but also I was like, you know what? I spend money on so many things that are so like food, right? It's like once you eat it, it's gone. Or other things that are a lot less long standing. So I can put a little bit more into something that I actually like interact with or wear fairly regularly at the very least and cook more. I also just want to cook more in general, but actually do it. So I'm going to be like grocery shopping, but to do that, like I really want a meal plan too. Just so I know what I'm getting groceries for, or I know how many groceries to get, right? So, woo! Let's let the light all the way out today. There we go. Oh, come on, shade, cooperate. There we go. Ooh, it's in my eyeballs. All right. So indecision with the man holding a coin at the bottom of the deck. And then the Seven of Swords is at the top of the Witch's Tarot, with the shadow side at the bottom of the deck. The shadow side and the man holding a coin is a Capricornian energy, but it's Capricornian energy in what like we think we have to do. But there's like a growing sense of dissatisfaction with that, I guess, because of looking at the Seven of Swords and the Tarot Apocalypsis yesterday. For the first time, for some reason, because I know who was looking fairly dismayed, and there was another dude holding all the swords, and like he was doing that, but it felt like he was returning the swords. It felt like the person had lost like two or three or five or 10 swords of a lower quality, but the person was about to bring him seven swords of like master craftsman level, like they were gold. And I was like, what? Two of swords? I'll take it. That's a whole little stack. I was like, what? That's crazy. Like, okay, shoot, I can get behind that energy. I'm a fan of this iced coffee. Iced coffee or coffee energy drinks don't do anything for me. They don't improve my energy or my functioning. My mom is the same way. Door to romance with blossoming abundance. I feel like that speaks of any limitations. It's like a blockage anywhere is a blockage everywhere type of energy. And the door to romance opening means that there's like an increased vulnerability. And that increased vulnerability also leads to blossoming abundance. Maybe it makes us more approachable in real life or less cold in some way in real life. And because of that, we're offered some opportunity that it makes us more appealing in a space of opportunity. I just want one of these for this whole stack of cards that just came out. I'll get it later. Ooh, I got two doors in reverse. No, the door to value in reverse, happy family in reverse, and indecision at the bottom of the deck. I forgot I had reversals in here. Do I have reversals? Yeah, I do. I do. The top of the deck is attachment in reverse. That's interesting. This is the top of the deck, and this is the top of the card that came out. Two of Swords, attachment in reverse at the top of the deck. Also, Seven of Pentacles with the Four of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. So far, there's a moment of indecision, right? And more so than indecision, I feel like we're coming to a point where we're trying to hold two conflicting ideas at the same time. Now, I'll be the first person to be like, oh, well, we're human. We like paradox exists and we can be complicated like that. But here, I don't think that's necessarily the case because it feels like what we're holding is like there's this cultivated sort of isolation. And then there's this Page of Pentacles who's that open and vulnerable and trusting and, with that blossoming abundance and the door to, blossoming abundance and the door to romance. There's the Eight of Wands, the Star, and Justice. The Eight of Wands, the Star, and Justice, it's carrying this energy of like as quickly as you can resolve or heal whatever inside of you, that's as quick as things will begin to shift. Almost like it's already sort of like queued up. It's like it's sitting on the porch. But for whatever reason, it's like it's sitting on the porch and you got the delivery notification, but you didn't hear the doorbell ring. And so it's like you're waiting on the doorbell to ring, even though you already got the notification that it's delivered. And you see the notification that it's delivered, but you're waiting on the doorbell to ring. And it's like the doorbell isn't going to ring. The person left it on the porch and drove off because they knew you'd get the notification, right? Maybe it was early and they didn't want to wake you up, and you live in a fairly secure neighborhood to the point where they're not worrying about someone coming and snatching it off of your porch, right? And maybe that's another thing here with the Seven of Pentacles. Oh, that's funny how I laid it down because I thought about it like that too. I was like, the Seven of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles, that's the Justice of Pentacles. And then I laid Justice right on top of it. And I have the Eight of Wands and the Star on top of the Page of Pentacles. But I feel like this is like how we're used to things sort of coming in. And it's like, so we're in this space of cultivating, but we're isolated, we're separate from everything else. And then here's this Page of Pentacles, this brand new whatever opportunity that is very much so not what we're used to. And so we kind of let it sit. But with the 8 8 and the 17 and the Eight of Wands, and then this, okay. So yeah, this is for me, it's minor justice. So we have justice and minor justice here. So minor justice is us like, oh, like this isn't, it's us holding fast to whatever we believe, not necessarily taking this opportunity, or it's in that moment of trying to reconcile both, right? And then we have the Eight of Wands and the Star. More so than wishes and desires, it's hopes and beliefs that are being fulfilled. And again, that's a theme lately. It's what you believe that's being fulfilled. And so now we have major arcana justice with the Ace of Wands, the Queen of Swords, the Eight of Cups, and the King of Wands. So with how these came out, the Queen of Swords and the Eight of Cups are looking at each other, with the Ace of Wands and the King of Wands sitting outside. And it looks like the same wand to me. So this is that Ace of Wands that Spirit has been just like throwing out in the past, like what, 3 readings now? This would be the maybe the third, from Amelie 5 and 6 to I think yesterday the Ace of Wands came out. Here's the Ace of Wands. By the end of it, Ace of Wands is in hand, and we're sitting in a place of power, connected to our power. But in the in between, it's this sort of standoff between what you need to leave behind with the Eight of Cups and the sort of mental. This Queen of Swords, it's, oh my gosh, it's another justice. So we got minor justice and the Two of Swords. We got pre justice with the Queen of Swords. And then we got major justice with justice. But sitting under major justice is this. Shout out to Queen Cup. Check out the video she went live on. I'll link it in the description box if you're curious. But she talked about what justice is and what justice isn't, and how when we wish ill upon someone else, we balance the scales. And I thought it was interesting because I was like, girl, I was just talking about justice the other day, and how justice, it feels timeless. And so if someone would do something to us and then we go and in turn perpetuate that same thing by doing it to someone else, then we kind of sort of karmically balance that within ourselves. It's not like this person did it first and so now I'm justified in doing it to somebody else. Like, it don't work like that. And you really shift the scales when you refuse to sort of play in that. Now you get queued up for something better, honestly. So I just thought that that was cool to hear. But honestly, by this point in time, I'm used to I'm used to it. I was like, oh my gosh, I've been talking about this. This is the divine trying to get us to shift into a higher form of justice. That's why there's this struggle up here between the old way of going about things and this new way of going about things. And again, it's like as quick as you can sort of switch over to that page, that's as quick as this new stuff will be coming in. And you'll start to experience it almost immediately. It's like an instant verification. It's instant verification. It's an instant re it's like they send you your receipt instantly, but they still have to like, package it and ship it and then deliver it. But you get that verification that your order has been successfully placed. And so you're like, okay, you know, it may not be here right now, but at least I know it's on its way. But again, going back to this, it's like, well, I got the notification that it was here, so let me just go check and see. And you go outside and it's on the porch, and maybe you're like, oh, why didn't they ring the doorbell? La, 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 la. But you got the package. So, an attachment again is in reverse at the top of the deck. Bottom of the deck was the door to value in reverse, and the happy family in reverse with indecision. There are certain things, it's like they're not going to change or turn around or come in until you let go of whatever attachments you have. And honestly, the Queen of Swords and the Eight of Cups with the Ace of Wands and the King of Wands outside of it, this goes back to Amelie Day 5. The obsessives, it goes back to the obsessives. When the Sovereign of Swords came out and humility was there, it's that need to allow things to be different than what they've always been, especially if you want to experience something different. And it takes me back to when the Queen of Swords came out a long time ago. The Mother of Swords came out on one side with the Eight of Pentacles, the Son of Swords, and another card. And then the Father of Swords came out with a different set of cards. And it was like the Father of Swords, it's open to at least listening to something new. And because of that, the Father of Swords is able to recognize when to at least be open to the possibility. Whereas the Queen of Swords, because of everything that she's experienced in life, it feels like Queen of Swords energy can be one of like, I've done this, I've done that, I have these major accomplishments, and you're not going to discount me just because I'm a woman. And so it makes her really like sort of steadfast and headstrong from a place of defensiveness in certain arenas, which has its times and has its places, especially when she's like right, right? But when she's wrong, then that habit, that pattern, that way of believing keeps her in the wrong. And that was the Eight of Pentacles, because in the Wild Unknown, it's the spider's web. It's the web that she wove for herself that she keeps herself trapped in because it gives her a sense of like power and rightness, even when she's wrong. And I'm not the type of person to like if I'm wrong, let me know that I'm wrong. And if you're wrong, I'm not gonna fully support you. I was watching somebody lately and he was like, what do you say? He was like, this is the type of person that even when you're wrong, like they'll still support you, they'll still back you. I'm like, oh girl, I'm not that and I don't want that. Like if I'm wrong, let me know. Cause I'm not interested in being right. Or I'm not interested in like being right. I'm interested in like being right. Right. So if I'm wrong, then I can get right. If I'm wrong and you just keep puffing me up, then I'm gonna be stuck and stagnant in the wrong, girl. And then like come to find out it's like, well, why didn't you tell me I was wrong? Bottom of the deck is the Seven of Swords. I don't like the Seven of Swords, but I love that the Seven of Swords is here because if you know my story with the Page of Pentacles in this deck, oh, the King of Pentacles is right there. And the High Priestess. Okay, who's behind the High Priestess? The Chariot. Hold up. That Cancerian energy, I love it. The High Priestess in the chariot with the Nine of Wands behind it. And I love this Nine of Wands because this is a Nine of Wands that can go all day long. She ain't beat up. She ain't tired. She ain't worn out. They got the right one defending that one because she can go and go and go and go and she'll never tire. She's been through worse, much worse. She can handle this. She can do this in her sleep. But if you've watched me use this deck before, and if you know the story of the Page of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords, and then the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, I'll just go through it really quick. Right. And this is what we're juggling. This is what we're balancing. So there's this tree here that is capable of giving the most miraculous and wonderful of fruits, but it can only be harvested from those who are pure of heart. And so we have our Page of Pentacles here, who is pure and naive. And we have the Seven of Swords, who comes under the guise of a feeble older man. And he approaches the page and he's like, "Oh, young, beautiful girl, can you please? My back hurts. Can you please get me some fruits?" And she's like, "Yeah, girl. Like, of course. Like, oh my gosh, it must be difficult being so old." And so she gives him the fruit. And then it's like, no problem. He comes back. She does it. He gets off on it for a while. She doesn't know any better. And then eventually one day, either the king or the queen, I think it was initially the queen, who saw this happening. The queen had to have a talk with the page, the princess, about how the tree works. And she was like, this tree it's bountiful and it blesses us with so much abundance, but it has this built-in protection mechanism where it can only be harvested from by those who are worthy of its fruits, right? And she's like, "Oh." And then, maybe they didn't necessarily, maybe she didn't see it, but they have that conversation one day because the princess becomes of age that she needs to know how the tree works. And she's out in the garden often enough that the mom wants her to know. And again, it's like, it isn't necessarily that they lose anything by giving away the fruit, but the tree is the way it is for a reason. And so one day, the King of Pentacles is out, and, you know, this dude comes along and he plays the same shtick. And the King of Pentacles, and this is like it's a royal family, so they kind of sort of live here for generations, right? He's like, "Oh, can I have this?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure. Like, take all you want." It was either the king or the queen, but it doesn't matter. They're the same. He's like, "Take all you want," but he's like, "Oh, thank you, but like, can you get it for me?" And the king's like, "No, I know how this tree works. You know how this tree works. If you are to have this, you will be able to get it, and you wouldn't need me to do it for you." And so then the old man is making excuses, and then the king is like, "Wait, are you the same like old man that used to do this when I was a kid? Girl, like what? It's been years. Like I got a whole daughter now. I got a whole family, and you still out here like trying to get fruit like this? What? Like where's the time go? Why don't you just like, I don't know, do better, and then you'd be able to pick your own fruits." And he's like, "Meh, meh, meh." He walks away upset, right? Off screen, and the king is just like, "Oh my gosh," kind of sort of laughing like, "Whoa, that's a blast from the past." And then, one day after they had that conversation, the princess is out in the field. And the princess, even though now she knows how the tree works, she still wants to give this old man the benefit of the doubt because she's still like, she's not jaded or anything, right? She's not automatically like, "Oh, well, he was asking me because he can't get it for himself." And it reminds me of The Hitcher. I just watched it for the first time like a week ago, maybe. I don't know. And Grace was like, "Don't give him a ride." And then Jim was put on the spot and he said, "Yeah," but she said no. Um, and so, the old man comes to, and he thinks that he's going to trick her again. And so she's like, "Oh, like, no, sorry. She has a basket full of fruits from the trees, right?" And he's like, "Oh, can I get some fruit, please? I'm so old and feeble." And she's like, "Oh, I gotta go. Sorry, like, but you like feel free to pick all the fruit that you want. But I think I hear someone calling me." She's trying to play it smooth, right? Because again, like she doesn't necessarily think the worst of him, but she also knows how this works now. And so she knows that she can't just give it to people. And so he comes up with more and more and more excuses. And then she eventually finds out that he can't pick up this. And what happens to her internally after she discovers that she's been giving fruit to an energy that can't get it himself, and how she's been sacrificing in the old energy, maybe she'd be like, "Oh, I'm so dumb, I'm so stupid that I kept doing this and I never even noticed." But maybe in the newer energy, she could just be like, "Well, you learn something new every day. I'm not gonna punish past me who didn't even know how this works. I'm not gonna, think badly or negative about a more naive version of myself, especially one that was so kind and giving and open-hearted. Why would I feel ashamed of that? But now I know better moving forward." So that's why I thought it was very interesting that the Seven of Swords and the King of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck when the Princess or the Page of Pentacles came out. But again, I feel like that can also be this minor justice here, right? Because this is where we learn to be sort of selfish and to be reserved. This is where we can become less naive, but not change our character because of it, right? Like we can still be all of who we are. We just learn healthier boundaries. We overgive less. Whatever we need to do, we do it without coming into all of this. And I guess that's it for today. I mean, I'm already half an hour in. I'll do another one. I'll do another one. Hold up. Let me edit this real quick. I'll say 27 minutes. I'll say pool one, 0000, pool one. Then I'll say 27:30, pool two. There we go. I can timestamp it and continue going. I could just leave it there, but I want to do a little bit more. And again, it's like, here's spirit trying to put you in your power with that King of Wands, but it requires some kind of reworking in the mental space, the feminine space of mentality and emotionality. And again, I feel like when it comes to this Queen of Swords energy, because of how gender disparities have played out, especially in the West, the Queen of Swords can be an energy of like, you're not going to talk down to me just because I'm a woman. Like, I know just as much, I'm just as educated. I probably know more than you, honestly. And I have to work so much harder to get a fraction of what you have just to be seen. So you're not going to tell me that I'm wrong and blah, 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 blah. But in this case, it's like, well, she's actually wrong. So that's that humility. Maybe that's why humility came out with the Queen of Swords a few days ago. See, they link up over days. That's interesting. Even if it's the same message, they link up and we progress a little bit. But again, that's the sort of balance here that she's holding. And so now maybe she's got to step down. She feels like she has to step down from pre-justice to minor justice. But under the umbrella of true justice, she wouldn't mind. But her ego would make her be like, yep, nope, not doing that. Even if I'm wrong, we're going to pretend that I'm right. And I don't know if that would serve. I mean, with the Seven of Swords and the King of Pentacles, that's a kingdom of lies, a kingdom of stolen gold. And what happens it's like when you trade more, what happens when like borders get shut down and stuff like that? If you don't build up your own kingdom to have something of worth in exchange, then it's like your value goes all the way down. It goes way down. So it's about finding those things within you. Again, that Princess of Pentacles and the Door to Romance with Blossoming Abundance, finding those things within you that sort of put you in that frequency of abundance rather than relying on things that are external and ephemeral in nature, short-lived and airy, not really tangible at all. Ooh! The Nine of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords, but the Nine of Pentacles is behind that Nine of Wands. I love her. But it's to keep moving anyway. right? Because the Queen of Swords would see this energy and she'd be like, oh, well, I guess the Nine of Swords is there. The Queen of Swords would see this energy. She's like, oh, like I'm established. I can handle myself. I'm good. But the High Priestess is like, well, you got to keep going because the nine isn't the end. And when it comes to 10, like you have to be complete. You have to be more complete in self before you can really extend or participate in something external to you with the 10. And if you're not, you'll fail every time, right? Oh, Three of Swords with the five of Wands, Three of Swords. That's like I can't go through it again. Well, like Winston Churchill said, if you're going through hell, keep going, because why would you want to make a home there? All right, I'm going to change the timestamp to 31 minutes because I kept talking, but that's fine. And also, I'm going to turn all the cards upright in the Energy Oracle cards, so bear with me. Oh, anxiety is in reverse? I don't know. Because last time, what card did I get in reverse? It was the Temple Path in reverse, and I read the reverse meaning, and I was like, this really hit. This really hit. Maybe I should leave these in reverse. But I'm feeling to turn them all upright, so I'll do it. It'll still hit. Ooh! Oh, snap! The woman holding a heart, goddess of the moon, and the man holding a heart. I love that. I love that. I love that. With Storm Warning in reverse and Journey in reverse. Oh, yeah, see. The Temple Path in reverse and Storm Warning in reverse. This is an energy of inviting storms because of a belief system. It's like being convinced to use your power of belief in a way that works against you and in a way that invites storms. Where the goddess of the moon, your intuition, is telling you, is telling both your masculine and feminine sides that it has nothing to worry about. And so this is an energy of trying to sort of like fortify you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually against whatever this energy would be that would try to convince you otherwise. But since these are in reverse and because journey is in reverse, with strategy here, I feel like this is an energy that'll convince you to sort of like run away from things that you could get. It's a sort of steadfastness, I guess, that's absent. And then look, yin yang, crown chakra, caring connections, and community. Like, but I don't know, it's very much so easier said than done. Contract in reverse, broken heart in reverse, angel of strength in reverse. Yeah, this is like, I feel like with contract in reverse, it's misunderstanding of events and situations and scenarios. With the broken heart in reverse and the angel of strength in reverse, it's definitely keeping you out of your power. And then appreciation was the last card, and it was upright. So these are all upright now. And pull number two. Pull number two. I'll start with the energy oracle cards this time. I see Archangel Michael with the first chakra. Shout out to the root chakra on the other channel yesterday. And the sun, what? Oh, wait, that's not the sun. That's action. We got the root chakra in action. I feel like action, it's that actions speak louder than words, especially when it comes to the root. It's like we can say that we believe something all day long, but if we don't sort of act in that way, then it doesn't. It's this energy of like plowing, right? And it's like if we only think about how, what is it? It's like you can think about how you would cultivate the land because it's the root chakra, it's our foundations, right? It's like you can dream up this dream garden, but if you don't actually plow and irrigate the land, then it may not be suitable to support whatever it is that you're dreaming. And the sacral is the first one that comes right after the root. So if your root is effed up, it's not going to be able to support whatever it is that you wish to create. And again, that's all that earth energy, the Seven of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, sitting under minor justice. Above major justice is how everything in a cosmic, energetic way, with the star and the Eight of Wands, is being aligned in your benefit. But under major justice was you needing to come into your power by changing the way that you think about things. And again, it's like one is directly correlated to the other. And outside of that sits this energy that's just like it's bursting. It's so ready to change the name of the game on earth and to bless people and to have people who are authentically, genuinely, happily in a place of fulfillment and abundance, but who also contribute to the world, because other people need to see that it actually works before they can do it. And it's like being a bastion of the new earth by the frequency that you hold. But again, it requires us to come out of the old way of doing things and thinking about things and stuff like that. And before we do that, there's probably some stuff that we need to sort of work through. So, who is this? I'll take them. We got two cards that stood up. In how did they come out? How did they come out in reverse? Everything else is upright. How did they come out in reverse, girl? See, that's the thing about, if they're meant to come out in reverse, they find a way to come out in reverse. Okay. It's rest and rejuvenation and victory in reverse. I feel like this is saying that it's like it's not yet over. There's still more for us to do. Now is not the time to sit on your laurels. It reminds me of Before Completion, I believe, in day 6, The Lost Lover of the Amelie sort of series. There's a playlist on my channel. I got all kinds of playlists on my channel. Some of them are from series that it may be like one video from a series that I never finished, but it's fine. And Before Completion, that was the energy that we didn't see. It's like everyone's looking at, oh, completion, completion. But what we're not seeing is before completion. What we're not seeing is what it takes for us to actually get there. This is to keep fighting on. Under that is the Angel of Strength. Like literally, like continue. Top of the deck is appreciation. I looked. So we got appreciation at the top, Angel of Strength at the bottom. With these in reverse, I'm actually going to read them. This is number 19 and 28. So there's 9 in between them. 9 is a number of completion, but 9 doesn't give you anything outside of that current cycle. That's what makes the 10 so special, right? Hold it. Here we go. I ain't even got my readers on. I'll read Rest and Rejuvenation first. I might need them. Yeah, I'm gonna need them. Where my readers at? I just had them. Oh, my iced coffee is gone. Yeah, excuse me. Rest and rejuvenation is relaxation and meditation. When this card is reversed, it can portend a time of bustling activity and seemingly unending business. You may be required to take more action concerning a project or situation. Allow yourself to do what's needed, but always remember to schedule some leisure time for yourself. When you hurry through life without a break, it fragments your energy and creates an abrasive life force, causing potential frustration in all sorts of ways. Be careful not to let endless tasks take you away from yourself. The have to items on your list may be calling you, but this card reversed is telling you take the time to meditate, rest, and relax. The affirmation here is I make relaxation a part of my daily life. Peace and quiet bring me clarity and joy. So it ain't to be lost in it, but also, it may be a time of bustling activity. And with that, I feel like if you're in that space of relaxation and if you're in that space of meditation, or if you take the time to be mindful and to connect, it feels like it'll make it easier to see certain routes of escape or certain elevators if you're playing eels and escalators or shoots and ladders, right? It'll make it possible to see certain ways of like up leveling. And it takes me back to that shortcut energy from a while ago. It makes it possible to see shortcuts. And it feels like it's like that confirmation and that validation before it's necessarily delivered. I feel like you'll see that too. And so you still may not get the fulfillment of whatever it is that you're working towards, but you will find an assuredness that makes it easier to continue doing whatever you need to do because it gives you that sense or that feeling that it's like it's actually working, right? Regardless of whether or not it comes full in, you'll know that it's at least working. Hold up, wait, this is, yeah, 28. Did I say 29? This is 19 and 28. 1928. Success and achievement. The victory card reverse signals a delay or reversal in a hoped for outcome, whether it's in personal change or external achievement. Success may have been, hold up, wait. Yeah, let's do it in book mode. I'll start from the beginning. The victory card reverse signals a delay or reversal in a hoped for outcome, whether it's in personal change or external achievement. Success may have been eluding you for some time, but don't despair. You may need to restructure things, reevaluate, or release one specific outcome and set your sights on another. Whatever's going on externally, remember that the equanimity of peaceful surrender can often be your biggest victory of all. The affirmation here is I'm achieving great things within myself and in the world. I see myself as a success in many wonderful ways, even now. I love that. And the angel of strength, again, maybe that's who you're connecting to. If you take that moment in time to like not to stop doing what you're doing, but to leave time for a mindful moment. Ooh, Ace of Pentacles with the Eight of Pentacles. That this is interesting. I think this is playing off of the victory in reverse card because usually the Ace of Pentacles would bump the Eight of Pentacles up to a nine, but it feels like this Ace is using a numerological equivalent to 10. So it's actually taking you from the 8 to the 10, bypassing the 9. That's the need to pivot, the need to restructure, to reorganize. That's like if even though you're in a busy time, if you can find a moment to sort of connect, that's when you'll come to this angel of strength. And the angel of balance is behind this, and then the sun is behind her. Love it. And financial constraints is behind this, but after you hit the sun, ain't none of it. If you can find the time to rest, rejuvenate, to connect in the middle of this busy period, I feel like I said, it was the energy of like the elevators, escalators, the ways of escape will be made clear to you. And it's coming like it's a way of escape because again, with the Eight of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles, I don't think you're gonna see something all the way through. It feels like there's a brand new beginning while you're in the space of really dedicating yourself to one thing. And in the beginning, it may be like, oh, well, I've put so much time and energy and effort into this. I don't know if I want to just leave it. Maybe you got to have the strength to do that too. It feels like maybe there's something that it's a little futile. Like you've gotten everything that you're going to get out of this situation, especially if it's hitting a point of stagnancy where it's like no matter how much work I put into this, it remains the same. Like it's stopped growing. Then maybe it'll be time to put in somewhere new. I don't know. But a lot of things have changed. And so maybe you were on a certain path before everything changed, before the Fire Nation attacked, right? But it feels like in the space of this change, there's a chance for you again. Someone has to be the vanguard. Someone has to be, what did I say, the bastions of hope or light of a new earth, of a new way of doing things. And it feels like that new way of doing things. Page of Cups with the Wheel of the Year at the bottom of the deck and the High Priestess behind the Wheel of the Year. Oh, look, was that the King of Cups? Yeah, that is the King of Cups. Okay. Behind the Will of the Year. So this is the card. It didn't come out, but it made a noise at the top, so I pulled it. The Will of the Year and the High Priestess. Things are shifting and changing, and the divine is trying to put you on a path of being not necessarily ahead of the curve, but of being on the front line. Again, someone has to be the first to encourage more later. And it feels like you have the opportunity to do that. Now, it also does feel like with the Eight of Pentacles, you've been putting in like heavy into something, and you're being asked to start over, like, or to do something new. It feels like there's not much of a break in between what you were doing and what you will be doing. But the Angel of Strength and Balance is here. The Angel of Strength is going to fortify you. She's going to, help give you the energy to do it. The Angel of Balance is going to ask you to, again, find times to sort of rest, relax, rejuvenate, connect, be mindful, whatever you need to do. She's going to be asking you to have balance in this, because without balance, it's like you'll burn out. And I love that behind this High Priestess with the Wheel of the Year is the King of Wands. So it does require you being in your power. But we talked about that in pool one. That's why I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. And then I saw the King of Cups. The King of Cups with the Knight of Pentacles. Ooh, okay. This is good. This is good. So we have the Knight of Pentacles between the King of Cups and the King of Wands. I talked about, I believe it was these. Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah. I talked about these two kings. And it was the spread where Death came out and another card came out. I used the Weaver Tarot Light and Dark. And in the light side, it was like the Ruler of Cups, the Chariot, and the Ruler of Wands. And it was like it's about finding a balance between the two of them. And then literally after this was the Chariot. So this is the slow and steady progress while we're sort of operating both within the realms of fire and water. I think fire and water can represent that service to others and service to self. It represents us sort of fulfilling our own desires, but at the same time being open and available. Again, check out Dark Worker versus Light Worker, Queen Cup. I'll link it because she talked about that too. And it's about finding the balance and moving forward in that. And I think the Knight of Pentacles is it's just saying that like it may not be like it may take time to sort of get adjusted to doing both, but with some dedication and some effort, like you'll get there. And there are going to be days where it's easier than others, sure. And the behind the Chariot was the Hangman. So again, it's like, there may be some days where you have to like stop the chariot and like rotate the wheels and like feed the horses and give the horses a break. Cause again, rest and rejuvenation is here. And if you have a long journey, your horses are going to need a break every now and then. Cause if it's like the Oregon Trail and your horse sprained its ankle and it dies, then you're going to be a horse down. I remember playing the Oregon Trail. It'll be like one day somebody sprained their ankle. 2 days later, they're dead. It's like, what? They died from a sprained ankle? How does that happen? Maybe there's a pack of hyenas that they couldn't outrun or something. I don't know. But I feel like, again, the Ace of Pentacles in here is that Knight of Pentacles here. But it's like the horse becomes a bird. Horse is an element of freedom. The bird is an element of a higher perspective. And so it's like maybe there you won't necessarily, it's this energy of like, let's say that there's a job that you have that provides a lot of financial security, but it doesn't fulfill you in any kind of way. And then there's another job that provides less financial security, but is a lot more fulfilling. It feels like it's the balance in between that. And again, that's this. Even though it's not the King of Pentacles, it's the King of Wands. That's the balance here between the fulfillment of desire and honoring oneself and others. And that, like, it all came out under the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is a new way. We just saw the Page of Pentacles. It's a new way of being, but it's from the heart space. It feels very similar to the energy of the Page of Pentacles, but the Page of Pentacles is sort of more focused on the day to day and everything that sort of motivates the decisions and choices that we make in a day, whose, and then like those, as those choices turn into consequences, our subsequent life because of it. This is more of like the emotional sort of sense, right? It's like because our heart is now open, or because we're connecting in a different way, in a more innocent way, it makes it easier for us to navigate in a different way. There's some alignment between the heart and your reality here. And under that was the Nine of Wands, which is, again, in this deck, she's powerful. She can go all day. She has the strength, Angel of Strength, Nine of Wands. That's why she can keep going and going and going. She's like the Energizer Bunny. So that's what I got. I like it. I like it. I like it. So I'll give final messages because I like shuffle them out on camera. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, this is long enough. And I do it anyway. Ooh, just cut to the star. You see that? The star with that Page of Cups. It's like Spirit knows what you want. Not only does Spirit know what you want, Spirit knows what you don't want. You think you know what you want, but you don't know if you want it until you actually get it. Spirit knows if you want it before you get it. Page of Cups. Page of Pentacles has to get it. And then she's like, oh, yeah, no, don't like this. But it's like, not only does Spirit know what you want, what you don't want, but it also knows how to get it to you. It also knows your challenges, your weaknesses, and your limitations. And so, in that way, it almost knows if you would be capable of maintaining something. And if you're not going to be capable of maintaining it, it's like Spirit isn't going to be hard pressed to give it to you. And so, that's why sometimes Spirit will take you in a roundabout way to make sure that you are, that like once you get it, you won't lose it. But again, devil energy may come in and try to offer it to you before you're ready for it. And well, then it's like it'll mess it up in some kind of way. But it's always a choice, right? And I feel like sometimes, again, it's like it feels like sometimes Spirit allows devil energy to tempt us with something, knowing that we still have the power of choice. That's the energy of that shortcut, where maybe we think, or there's a certain collective of energies, maybe it's people who don't believe in you or whatever. We think that we won't, like, we think things will play out in a certain way, but we make choices and decisions that actually lead to it coming out quicker. And so it's like, in some ways we can expedite the process. We can do express shipping, but when you do express shipping, you pay more. And so if you've been expediting, oh, well, if you've been expediting something, know that like you're going to pay more upfront. So it may be a little more rocky, it may be a little more tumultuous, it may be a little bit more like, oh my gosh, like I can't even breathe. Like, when is this gonna like lighten up enough for me to like take a break or take a moment? But it's like, it is possible for you to claim it. You just may have to do a little bit more upfront. The card that came out is Strength. I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. I saw the Seven of Wands. I think the Seven of Wands was behind the last card I pulled in the last one. And the Seven of Wands is minor strength. This is major strength. For me, the Seven of Wands is minor strength. Bottom of the deck is the Nine of Swords, though. But again, with this strength, it's the ability to make it through that anyway. And that's where the cups come in. That's where the connection to spirit will come in. And that's why finding those moments to reconnect and to balance and get strength from the angel of balance and the angel of strength is important. Because again, like I said, like you may not think you can do it. And there may be other people in your environment who will make sure that you think that you can't do it. But like the strength is being offered to you to get through this. Under that is the Two of Wands. And we know what comes after the Two of Wands. It's the Three of Swords. So this is the fear of the impending Three of Swords. But don't let that fear of the Three of Swords sabotage you out of even trying. Because you may find that you actually have the strength to break through the Three Swords now and to experience the rest of what life has to offer. And again, it's like, if you make the choice, you can stop and then you can go and you can learn more lessons, or you can be made more and more and more sure that you can do this, or you could never do it. You could fear it all your life. And then at the end of your life, or when you're on your deathbed, it's one of the many things that you regret. Man, I wish I would have had the courage to just like go full force. Where's the Fool? I'm going to pull around the Fool. Maybe it'll offer some advice. Maybe it won't. We'll see. Oh. So outside of the Fool is the Knight of Swords and the Emperor. You see that? The Knight of Swords and the Emperor. Outside of the Fool. The cards that came out beside the Fool, it's Justice and the Shadow side. So it kind of sort of really is wherever you put your hope, wherever you put your faith, wherever you put your belief. More so than that, though, because the shadow side in this deck, it feels like a projection. It feels like an illusion more than anything. And if these people can get the courage to like stand up and face it, they'll realize that there's no substance there. And then beyond that, and the light behind it, lies justice. Beyond your fear lies everything that you want. But that's why that again, like after the Two of Wands is the Three of Swords. There it is. The Two of Wands beyond the Nine of Swords. And it's the anticipation of that Three of Swords coming after this brand new journey that has you in this Nine of Swords space. But again, it's like the strength is being given to you. You just have to be brave enough to go after it. I love that the advice is like non-advice. I was like, haha, lol, that's funny. Okay. There are many, many, many beautiful things just waiting to be claimed. But it ain't necessarily coming for free. And it's like there are things that you wouldn't want to take with you into a new beginning anyway, because it'll spoil it, right? It's like if you have a house full of old furniture and you buy a new house and you move all your old furniture into the new house, then your new house is going to smell and feel like your old house. And it's like if you're going to do the exact same thing, it's like you move into a new house in the same like neighborhood with the same, it's basically the same house, just a different location. But everything else is the same. It's like, well, you could have stayed where you were. You're not going to get whatever newness you're thinking of because you're bringing all the baggage with you. You're making this into your old house. So, oh, there's a card face down on the table. I love that. The World is at the bottom of the deck. Happy Family is what came out. And then the card on the table is Seventh Chakra Archangel Uriel. This is what's being downloaded through the crown. It's a more united world. This is definitely like Age of Aquarius energy, especially the Age of Aquarius that a lot of people have been manifesting. But again, it reminds me of the completion. Like this is, oh, look, 4 and 41. What's this? 29, which is an 11. Um, I guess in that way, then this is the happy family in the world. If you take out the repeating one, because you have 1 1 4 4 1 here, and the 41 is it's also a 5. So between the two of these, it's a 9, and then here's an 11, right? I guess 911 kind of it kind of gives it a sense of urgency a little bit more than urgency. It's because 911 is what, hey, Mimi, 911 is what we call when we're in a space of emergency. So it feels like, we're calling up to spirit with this energy. This was the 4-4 portal last year when everybody was doing the global meditations for world peace or whatever. And then the world got real ugly, but the world gets real ugly so we can actually do something to, resolve everything. I'm doing good. How are you? Um, and so, like, this is spirit that's like, okay, like, I can't do it for you, but I'll give you the information. Like, I'll tell you how to do it. I'll let you know what you need to do in order to get what you want. And I love it. Feels like the world is like turning. So this is like a waxing world energy. And so it's going to get brighter and brighter. So around here, I'll look around the sun in this deck. Where's the sun? But the sun kissing my face. There's no way that I can lose. I should listen to that song. I haven't listened to that song in a minute. Did I ask you how you're doing? Oh, you're great. Okay, glad to hear you. Or glad to hear it. Oof, oof. So the sun is turning on deceit and financial constraints. Honestly, deceit and financial constraints. You were talking about joining in or not and what you really participating in. Yeah, I remember that. People were like, "Oh, don't do it because you don't know what energy is there." The sun, I feel like it's an energy of illumination. Deceit and financial constraints. It feels like there's an energy of like shadow puppetry here. It's an energy of the people who control certain systems and how that control is illuminated. It's an energy of like when you're playing a losing game and then it's revealed to you. What a lot of people will experience when this happens could be like a lack of faith. It could be a sort of moment of betrayal that leaves them sort of like drained. Like, what have I been doing? Like, everything that I've been doing, like, what has it been for? But again, it's like, well, you asked. Like, this is what you asked for. And so now you're going to see it. Like, you asked the question, this is what you wanted. Now you can see what gets in the way. And it's not being illuminated to you for you to feel powerless. It's being illuminated to you for you to do something about it. Now you can see the things that you couldn't see before that affect you in ways that you didn't even know or couldn't even imagine. Now you can see how other people are affected in ways that you maybe didn't think to be true or valid. Now we can do something about it because we can see it if we so choose. And again, it's like the spirit ain't necessarily doing it for you, but they will illuminate it to you. So that's what I got. You caught me at the tail end, Mimi. I hope that y'all have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that whatever you need to do, see, face, you do, see, and face. I might come back live. This calendar is on March 4th. I haven't used this in over a month. So I think I'm gonna come back and just rip all these off because that'll be fun, right? And then we'll see what happens. I just feel like being live today. Oh, snap. Hold up. Wait. There's something I got to do today that I forgot about yesterday. So I need to make sure I set an alarm so I don't forget to do it today because it's already past due, girl. I was like, sorry. I thought it was last month. It was this month. Ooh. All right. I'll be back, maybe. All right, bye.